hilarious that she brings up the NFL because NFL fans don't only hate on one another's, send death threats to players.
Has definitely gone too far with some of their racist remarks and their treatments of players. It's not okay. It's okay to be a hater in sports. Like, hating in sports is a part of the game. Like, I like when our fans are so engaged and so passionate that they just don't like the other team.
Caitlin Clark's getting attacked by fans now? What's going on in the WNBA? A Connecticut Sun fan just crossed the line big time, and now everyone's talking about it. But that's not all. There's more drama in Chicago with a coach getting fired. Let's break it all down. Picture this. Caitlin Clark's on the court, doing her thing, when suddenly the atmosphere gets super tense. This fan starts yelling some seriously messed up stuff. You won't believe what he said. He actually wished for Clark to fall and break her neck.
So please don't confuse me saying motivated by hate by meaning hating on a team the way a normal diehard fan would. A diehard Falcons fan can hate the Saints, but they would be going a little bit too far if they created nude AI pictures of Saints players and then sent them to the Saints players' families. That's what Caitlin stans have done to Angel Reese.
That's insane, right? Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Security had to step in and remove the guy, but get this, he didn't even stop there. After he got kicked out, he was bragging about what he did to other people at the game. Can you imagine being that proud of threatening a player? But here's the thing, this isn't just some isolated incident. There's a whole lot more going on in the WNBA right now, and it's causing some major drama. You know what's crazier? Some veterans are actually blaming Clark's fans for all this mess. Let's talk about why that's happening next. Remember when we said veterans were blaming Clark's fans? Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a storm brewing in the WNBA.
One of the reactions that you guys wanted to hear from me was about the stuff that Cheryl Swoops once again said about Caitlin. She was on Gil's podcast, and honestly, you guys, I think I'm done talking about Cheryl Swoops.
Cannot be a representation of what the WNBA would want in their league. This is our league. This was built, like, I feel like as a women's basketball historian myself, I've been watching since I was 5. I was here before the league started, as a lot of the fans on social media feel the same. That ain't a representation of us. Y'all not like us. They not like us, okay?
And it's not just about one player. This drama is exposing cracks that have been there all along. So why are some WNBA veterans pointing fingers at Caitlin Clark's fans? It's not as simple as you might think. Clark's popularity is like a double-edged sword for the league. On one hand, she's bringing in tons of new fans and attention, but on the other, it's stirring up some unexpected tension. Rachel Dementa, a basketball analyst, dropped a truth bomb about what's really going on. She said, "There are still people who seemingly, to me, feel like they just don't want Caitlin to be a part of it, because with Caitlin comes millions and millions of more eyeballs." Can you believe that? Some players are actually jealous of the attention Clark's getting. But here's the thing, this isn't just about Caitlin Clark. The hostility we're seeing is part of a bigger problem in the WNBA.
A diehard Celtics fan could hate the Lakers. And you know what? If we being honest, that Celtics fan base has definitely gone too far with some of their racist remarks and their treatments of players. It's not okay. A diehard Tennessee Vols fan could have hated our UConn Huskies, but they would have been going way too far if they sent death threats to the UConn players. And that's what they've done. That's what Caitlin stans have done.
Other players are dealing with some serious hate, too. Take Dear Hammy, for example. She's been booed and harassed just for standing up against mistreatment. It's like there's this toxic fan behavior that's spreading through the league. You might be thinking, wait, isn't more attention good for everyone? Well, that's where things get complicated. The WNBA is going through some major growing pains right now. Clark's popularity is shining a spotlight on the league, but it's also highlighting some of the not-so-great stuff that's been lurking under the surface. Think about it. You've got new fans pouring in, excited about Clark and the game, but then you've also got this undercurrent of jealousy and tension from some of the veterans. It's like the league is trying to figure out how to balance all this new energy with the existing dynamics. And let's not forget about the fans themselves. Some of them are taking things way too far, like that Connecticut Sun fan who attacked Clark. It's creating this weird situation where the players are dealing with more support than ever, but also more hostility. Talk about a roller coaster. Just when you thought the WNBA couldn't get more intense, two of its biggest names step into the spotlight. Brittany Griner and Angel Reese aren't holding back about the recent fan incidents. What they're saying could shake up the entire league. Griner's not mincing words. She's calling for quick action, saying we can't wait around for overdue statements. It's like she's reading our minds, right? We all want to see something done about this mess, but Griner's not stopping there. She's got a plan for social media too. You know how sometimes comment sections can turn into a total dumpster fire? Griner's suggesting the league use keywords to filter out the nasty stuff. It's so simple. You wonder why they haven't done it already. And then there's Angel Reese. She's speaking up about creating a safe environment for players. Can you imagine trying to focus on your game when you're worried about racist or sexist comments? Reese is saying, enough is enough. She deserves to play without all that extra stress. But here's where it gets really interesting. Griner's pointing out something that might make you look at social media a whole new way. She's saying the league's so focused on likes and comments, they're forgetting about respect. It's like they're choosing quantity over quality, and that's causing some serious problems. Think about it. Every time you hit that like button or leave a comment, good or bad, you're feeding into this system. It's wild to think that our social media habits could be part of the problem, right? So what does all this mean for the WNBA? It's clear that these incidents aren't just isolated events. They're symptoms of a bigger issue that the league needs to tackle head-on. Griner and Reese aren't just complaining. They're offering solutions and pushing for change. But it's not just about the players. The fans play a huge role in this too. How do we create an atmosphere that's exciting and passionate, but also respectful and safe? It's a tricky balance, but it's one the WNBA needs to figure out fast. Maybe it's time for some new rules at games, or better training for security staff, or a whole new approach to social media. Whatever the solution is, it's clear that something needs to change. Speaking of change, the WNBA just witnessed a major shakeup that nobody saw coming. A respected coach is out, a basketball legend is speaking up, and a rising star is left lost for words. What's really going on with the Chicago Sky? Teresa Weatherspoon, a big name in women's basketball, just got fired from the Chicago Sky. This isn't your average coaching change. It's causing waves across the entire league. You'd think it would only affect the Sky, right? Wrong. Players from other teams are feeling the impact too. Angel Reese, who doesn't even play for Chicago, is absolutely crushed by this news. She said, "I'm heartbroken. I'm literally lost for words knowing what this woman meant to me in such a pivotal point in my life." Can you imagine being so affected by someone you've never even played for? That's the kind of impact Weatherspoon had. But why is Reese so upset? Well, it turns out Weatherspoon was more than just a coach to her. Reese explained, "She was the only person that believed in me. When your back was up against the wall, you always believed." That's powerful stuff. It shows how coaches can be mentors and supporters, even for players on other teams. Now, you might be wondering what led to Weatherspoon's firing. The details are still fuzzy, but here's what we know. Dwyane Wade, who's involved with the Chicago Sky, hinted that the team needed a change. But was firing Weatherspoon really the answer? That's the question on everyone's mind. This shakeup isn't happening in a vacuum. Remember all that drama we talked about earlier with fan behavior and player safety? Well, this coaching change is just adding fuel to the fire. It's like the WNBA can't catch a break right now. Think about it. You've got players dealing with aggressive fans, veterans feeling threatened by newcomers, and now a beloved coach getting the boot. It's creating this atmosphere of uncertainty throughout the league. Players are probably wondering, who's next? What's going to happen to my team? But here's the thing, maybe this is all part of the WNBA's growing pains. The league is getting more attention than ever, thanks to stars like Caitlin Clark. With all those new eyes watching, there's bound to be some turbulence. The question is, how will the WNBA handle it? Weatherspoon's firing could be a turning point. It might force the league to take a hard look at how they're managing things. Are they making decisions that benefit the players and the game? Or are they just reacting to pressure without thinking about the long-term consequences? So, what's next for the WNBA? We've got fans attacking players, coaches getting fired, and players feeling unsafe. It's a mess, right? The league's got to do something fast. Maybe we'll see stricter rules for fans at games. More security, tougher punishments for bad behavior, that kind of thing. And what about social media? The league might need to clean up those comment sections, but it's not just about the fans. The WNBA needs to figure out how to handle all this new attention from stars like Caitlin Clark. It's great for the game, but it's causing some serious drama. Here's the big question. Can the WNBA turn all this chaos into something positive? Or is this just the beginning of even more problems? The future of women's basketball might depend on what happens next.